Take your seat as you quickly turn with me to the book of Acts 9. Acts chapter 9, we'll read from verse 36 to the end. We're going to read 7 verses in the book of Acts 9. By the special grace of God, I'm sharing with God's people what I title Divine Legacy in the Eyes of God's Glory. Divine Legacy in the Eyes of God's Glory. The essence of this message is very simple. To understand the meaning of legacy through the eyes of God. Through the eyes of God. I so much believe that time has come for the believers, for the church, to see things the way God sees them. Many things has lost its meaning because of our uncaring, because of our ignorance to stand our ground. In the book of Acts 9, from verse 36, I read, it says, at Joppa, there was a certain disciple named Tabitha, which is translated Dorcas. This woman was full of good works. The Bible said this woman was full of what? Good works and charitable deeds, which she did. Take note of it. I could stop in this verse 36, but I want also to get the understanding of all. But it happened in those days that she became sick and died. And when they have watched her, they lay her in an upper room, not down room, upper room. And since Lydda was near Joppa, and the disciples have heard that Peter was there, they sent 2 men to him, imploring him not to delay in coming to them. Then Peter arose and went with them. And when he has come, they brought him to the upper room. And all the widows stood by him weeping, showing the tunics and garments which Dorcas has made while she was with them. But Peter put them all out and kneeled down and prayed. He put them all out. Sometimes there are spiritual things you don't do in public. There are some spiritual things you don't do before the eyes of people. He will lose his values. People will make mockery of that things. There are some prophets today. People are not making mockery of them. Not that what they have done is evil in the sight of God, but they did it publicly. There are things that are not for public consumption. Even in the government today, what they call closed door meeting. But in the house of God, we don't have closed door meetings. There are some prophecy that you don't declare openly. There are some messages you don't declare openly. There are some doing, you don't do them openly. You have to differentiate. Peter could have started doing what God asked him to do in the presence of the widows. But he put them aside. Even Jesus' days, the same thing. When that girl died, I think at the age of 12, when Jesus came, he prevented some people from coming in. It is very important. Let's continue. He says, and Peter put them all out and kneeled down and prayed. And turning to the body, he said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. Then he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, he presented her alive, not dead, alive. And he became known throughout all Joppa, and many believed on the Lord. So it was that he stayed many days in Joppa with Simon a tanner. He said, many believed on the Lord, not on Peter, on the Lord. Because Peter presented Jesus. But today, most of the miracles we see, we witness today, what we do? We praise the man of God because the power is not coming from God. Because people would like to appreciate the source of the power. So when you begin to take praise and people are not praising you, then you become the source of that power and become demonic. That is just by the way. Today, as I've told us before, divine legacy in the eyes of God's glory. Which simply means that we have to see a divine, this legacy is divine. We are not talking about legacy. We're talking about divine legacy. In other words, there are legacies that are not divine. But there is a legacy that is divine. Why is it divine? Because it comes from God. God is divine. Whatever he does is divine. And I have checked the meaning, I have checked the word legacy. But it's quite different from the way I'm going to present it today. Because the way God sees things, they are quite different from the way we see it. The way God understood things are quite different from the way we understood things. Most of the understanding of things comes from the word, from the way people give it meaning, and it becomes so. But in the beginning, it was not so. Adam was divine being. He started naming animals. But the naming of animals came from God first. Adam had to confirm what was in the mind of God. And God wanted to see if the woman that he have created, that he have imparted his glory into, function like him. So you can see that understanding comes from divine being that God has imparted in a man. And but today reverse has been the case. But God's word has remained the same. Because the Bible says, forever, O God, your word is settled in heaven. But it is a pity that the world we live in, the believers of today, we are borrowing meaning from outsiders into the church when we are interpreting the Bible. And that's why sometimes we interpret the Bible not based on the understanding of God or based on the mind of God. Because we don't even have the mind of Christ. Because the Bible says, let this mind be in you. So we don't have the mind of Christ. We don't have the Holy Ghost in us, upon us. And we started interpreting nonsense. But those interpretations may be good. May be good. But in the sight of God, it's quite different. It's not good. So not every good thing is a good thing. So we must understand things through the eyes of God if we want to benefit. Because you cannot hold a light for others while you will not benefit from it. Everything that God does is for the benefit of himself and for the benefit of his people. You cannot serve God faithfully without benefiting from it. You cannot obey the word of God without benefiting from it. It's for your own good. But there are things you can do for yourself that God will not benefit from it. But there is nothing you can do for God while you will not benefit from it. Divine legacy in the eyes of God's glory. Once we hear of legacy, what comes to our mind? People talk about that man's legacy. They talk about that man's legacy when the man is no more. So in the world, in the eyes of the world, is that your legacy will begin to speak for you when you are no more. So in other words, you cannot have a legacy while you are still alive. But that is not true. You build your legacy while you are alive. Legacy are not built while you are dead. So when you begin to talk about your legacy, you have to be alive to talk about your legacy. You must have a vision, a dream, aspiration concerning legacy, your legacy that you are going to leave behind. Something that you have not initiated, something that you have not created while you are alive cannot be set to the left. You must hold it first. Listen. The way the world understands legacy is different from the way God intended it to be. Divine legacy is not about you. Divine legacy is not about you. Because we believe that legacy is about me. It's about me. It's about me. No, legacy is not about you. It is about the other person, not you. And people believe that legacy is about wealth. It's about money. It's about education. It's about material things. No, legacy is not about wealth. It's not about your prosperity. Legacy is not about your estate. Legacy is not about your companies. Legacy is not about your position in society. Legacy is not about having many children, many wives. But in the eyes of the world, these are legacy. These are legacy. Once you are rich, you are wealthy, that is your legacy. But in the eyes of God's glory, that is not. That is not legacy at all. Then the question is, what is legacy in the eyes of God's glory? If being wealthy is not a legacy, estate, houses, because many of us will say, I'm going to leave estate for my children. That is a legacy I'm going to leave for them. I'm going to, but then we can understand the true meaning of legacy, divine legacy in the eyes of God's glory. So that your life can change for the better. Now, church, where we read was very simple, defining divine legacy in the eyes of God's glory. There was a woman called Dorcas, Tabitha. It's an Arabic name, but translated into the Greek, which means Dorcas. She was a disciple of Jesus Christ, not disciple of a church. She was a follower of Christ, not followers of pastors, not followers of churches, but followers of Jesus. Because Jesus said, come and follow me. So she got it right. And the Bible recorded that she was noted for good works. She was doing good work, charitable deeds. In other words, that she was helping the poor. She was helping the widows. You see a legacy. But you will say, but Pastor, you said wealth is no legacy. Riches are not legacy. When you study this Dorcas, you will understand divine legacy. She helping the widows, helping the poor. A time came, she became sick and she died. When she died, the widows, the people she had helped, came. They washed her body. They took her to the upper room, lay her there. They didn't take her to be buried. People that she has helped, people that she has helped in one way or the other, came to play their role. Her legacy began to speak for her. And when they heard that Peter was in Joppa, they sent 2 men imploring him to come, not to deny them of the chance to come. There is a need. So when there is a divine legacy, when you have created a divine legacy, it will speak for you even while you are alive. Divine legacy creates things that you never thought will ever happen in your life. I use the word create. There are things that you desire in life, but that is not available. Instead of what you desire that is not available, and for you to accept what is available, the divine legacy comes in to create that thing that you desire that is not available to become available. Listen, we're going to Dorcas. There was a man in the Bible that God sent Prophet Isaiah to go and tell him, the king, that he should put his house in order, that he's going to die. And when the man heard the prophecy, what happens? He turned to the wall. But the Bible did not tell us what the man said to God. And the prophet left. But before the gate, there was a change in protocol. There was a divine change in heaven. The program had changed. The program had changed. And God now told the prophet, go back and tell him that he will not die. The man that told him that he would die was the same man that was saying, go and tell him that he will not die. And when the prophet told him, you will not die, what did the king say? He said, man, give me a sign. Let there be a decree this time. Let the earth move backward. In other words, what did the man tell God that made God to change his mind, and that made God to also do the impossible for the man? God legacy can create things. But sometimes we just believe in life that it is our effort. No. Everything you do, everything we are is going on today. You can shut the door or you can open the door. But it all depends on you. What did the man tell God? What did he tell God? What did he say? I believe strongly that it was a time for legacy review. When the man turned to the wall, his legacies began to speak on his behalf to God. The man was not waiting for him to die for his legacy to speak. He was still alive. He understood the meaning of the legacy is not about, mostly it's not about you being there and people speaking for you. Your legacy can speak for you. He was telling God things that he has done, not for himself, but for people. Legacy is not about you. Like I said, it is not about you. It's about others. Legacy is about lives that you have affected positively. So you don't have a legacy when you have not affected lives. So legacy is not about affecting your own life. No. But the benefit of legacy is what affects you. But your legacy affects others. Listen, when I said that wealth, riches, having estate, they are not legacy. Yes, they are not. Remember what God told Abraham in the book of Deuteronomy. He said, Abraham, you should remember this, that it is the Lord that has given thee wealth. Can you still remember? Not only that, God said to Abraham, promising Abraham, he said, I will make you a channel of blessing. He didn't say, I will make you a blessing. He said, but I will make you a channel. You will become a channel in which the blessing flows. So in other words, that you are going to be a channel in which I will release blessing. God was telling Abraham the meaning of legacy. That you should start building legacy. I'm going to give you wealth. Wealth is not for you, but wealth is to build legacy. So when God gives you wealth and you accumulate it to yourself, there is no legacy in it. And God will say, oh, that foolish man, oh, that foolish woman, your soul is required of you. Whatever God gives to you is to build a legacy that will speak for you when the time arises. In other words, riches, wealth, position that God gives to you. It is God that gives position. He brings one up, he brings another down. Those that God has brought up, they have failed to understand through the eyes of God's glory the meaning of legacy. God will bring them down. But those who are down, who understood what legacy means, God will take them up in order for them to demonstrate the true meaning of legacy. Divine legacy. So that prayer was not saying when God bring you up, a time will come, God will bring you down. You don't have to bring that person up. No. Bringing you down, it is you that will determine. It is you that will decide. If you don't understand why God raised you for such a time like this, like he told Esther, God did not give you that position for you. He gave you that position for legacy. Legacy is not about you, Esther. It's about the people. He gave you that position in order for you to build your legacy. Your legacy is not to affect you, but to affect others. I just pray you understand what I'm talking about today. Wealth. Let me give you an example. You pray and say, God, give me wealth. Because God said gold and silver belongs to him. God is wealth in himself. God lacks nothing. And you pray and say, God, give me wealth. God is not going to give you wealth when you are not ready for divine legacy. You must understand that the price to pay is legacy. In other words, God give me wealth for others. God gave me wealth for legacy. What built legacy is wealth, position, things that God has blessed you with. Listen, God is not coming to build a legacy, but God is coming to build legacy through you with His own wealth. So you know when you become a channel, God wants to change the world. God wants to bring people out of poverty. But God is looking for men and women that understood, who are ready to build legacy. So by the time God gave you wealth, you understood from the beginning that this is not your money. This is not you. This is not your money. And this money is not given to you for you. He's given to you, giving you an opportunity to build a legacy. In order to affect people's lives. He said, let your light so shine. So people may see your good works and do what? And glorify your Father, which is in heaven. Because He's the one that gave you those things. In order for you to build a legacy, there is no way you can build a divine legacy without being blessed. Let us not be too selfish. When you become me, you are not you don't have any legacy. You don't have a divine legacy. As I said, the glory of God is concerned. You are living for nothing. Oh, my father have money. He left a legacy behind. No, he left nothing. He has no legacy. Legacy is about the lives of people that you have affected with what God has given to you. If your holiness is not affecting others, then you don't have a legacy. Holiness is not by power. Righteousness is not by power. It is Him. He gave you righteousness in order to affect people, to have a legacy. Build legacy with God's righteousness in you. He gave you all the material that are needed for you to build, to affect people's life. Then people's life become your legacy. Dorcas understood. God gave Dorcas skill. God gave Dorcas wealth. She used that skill, that wealth, to help the widows, to help the poor. She was using the way to build legacy. People that understood all this, till the day they would die, they would say, I have finished the race. Because they would die empty, nothing. But the lives that they have affected, we speak for them. Because we don't live forever. There are many of us today, we live in an environment, here we don't affect our environment. We are consumed with ourselves. We don't understand what divine legacy means. Because people believe that, like all these pastors who are selling anointing oil, having schools, having whatsoever, they thought it's a legacy. That is not legacy. They have affected nothing. Nothing. By the time people talk about their names, they will spit on their names. They thought that they have influence. But legacy is different from influence. It's about the life that you impacted with what God has endowed you with. Sometimes we don't understand meanings of things. That's our problems. Listen. When Dorcas died, her legacy began to speak for her. Her legacy began to speak for this woman. She was no more. Peter came. The woman came back to life because of her legacy. Like that king that was told you are going to die. When you have a legacy, you can't die prematurely. You can't. God is not a man that he should lie. That is why I'm always standing against those who say what God cannot do does not exist. That is nonsense. God cannot lie. Faithful is he that has called. He will do it. Our problem is what God has endowed you with. What have you done with it? Whatever God gives to you is not for you. It's to build a legacy. And once you build a legacy, it becomes a divine legacy. Because you understood it from the eyes of God's glory. But when you don't understand the true meaning of divine legacy, what happens? You begin to accumulate wealth for yourself and you begin to kill others to accumulate their wealth. You begin to exploit others to accumulate wealth, thinking that your wealth will live after you. Nonsense. And that's why he said, many will say to me, Lord, in your name I did this, I did that. He said, I will say to them, I know you not, you workers of what? Iniquity. You don't understand the meaning. For that reason you fail. You fail. Ask yourself, whose lives are you affecting? Are you building? This is more than giving. Listen, this is not I'm giving. No, this is more than giving. We're talking about divine legacy in the eyes of God's glory. It is more than giving. Like I only tell you here, I say you can give without loving somebody. It is true. I can give to you without loving you. But I cannot love you without giving to you. They are quite different. So legacy is more than giving. It's more than giving. Impacting lives. Can't you see people today? They want to impact lives. Say they want to build a legacy. But they are exploiting the people. They have become fat by the things that God has given to them for others, so that they can build legacy. Because what God has given to you and you are using it to help others, you are building legacy through the lives of those people. And the kingdom will be rejoicing. Because you are an ambassador of God here on earth, representing him, carrying out his mandate. And God's legacies will be everywhere. But look at us today. Reverse is the case. We are too greedy. I'm using the word too greedy because we are not supposed to be greedy. But we are only we exploitation. We are exploiting others, thinking that is a legacy. That is not divine legacy. I will advise you today, because when you understood these things, your prayer life will change. God give me wealth. Has God answered you? No. God give me long life. Has God answered you? No. God give me good health. Has God answered you? No. God give me children. Has God answered you? No. Something is wrong. Because God cannot give you what you don't understand what is useful. But if you understand what is useful from your own understanding, not from his own understanding, we are still in the same place. God will not respond. God will not. Because God is not obligated to answer man. But God is obligated to answer his word. That's men of God in those that will pray, God, give me the understanding of your word. And what I am teaching you, what I am telling you today, I have not learned it in any book, but I learned them through divine revelation. God came teaching me what I am telling you now. That I'm trying to discipline myself to point out raw the way God taught me. Whether you understand, I pray that you understand it. That is my prayer. But the essence of me standing here is to deliver a simple message with a simple understanding from God's eyes of His glory. Because the church or the churches have gotten it wrong about legacy, divine legacy. Divine legacy is affecting the lives of others. And when the time comes, two things, listen. When the time comes, while you are still alive, your legacy will begin to speak for you. When you open your mouth, heaven will begin to respond. It's you talking through your legacy. And the time will come when you are gone, your legacy will rise up and begin to speak for you. Because when you have legacy, then you are telling God why He must bless you, why He must give you more. There are people today, when the devil comes to kill them, even when they pray, God will not see any need to rescue them. Because once they are gone, it will not affect God. But they are believers. They are born again. But they don't have any legacy that will make God to give them 1 more year or 2 years or 3 years, or save them, or even the while they die, to send them back. God have nothing to write home about, nothing. But they thought they have legacies. No. But there are people today, I'm telling you the truth, who understood the true meaning of divine legacy and through the eyes of God's glory, walking towards it. Even while they don't pray, the devil comes to kill them. God will intervene. God will say no. Because if this person die, it will affect heaven. Because heaven will not see who to use. Because their position is irreplaceable. Because God can trust them. The one, the heavenly resources is at their disposal. They will use it. They understood the meaning of legacy. Affecting the life, impacting the life of others through the wealth, through what God has given to you. That is true meaning of legacy. Building legacy. But there are people that God will give wealth to. They build empire for themselves. There are people that God has given churches to. God calling to the ministry. They had 10,000 branches. What happened? They built empire for themselves. Their members are struggling to live. Their members are living in abject poverty. But these people have private jet. Not 1, not 2, so have 3, so have 4. How can you have the holy man? That is no legacy. That is not divine legacy, and they are so proud. They are pastors today, they have flashing cars, flames of cars. They can't drive. They just park it there, 10, 20, 30 latest. But their member trek to church. When they want to have a church bus, the whole church will donate. Why can't you share those cars to buy a church bus? Their members unable to pay house rent. What will the church do? They say, come and stay in the church first, so the pastor can be using them, sending the message. Why can't you set those cars and build a house and give the key to the person? That is the true legacy. God put you in that position, not for yourself, but for others. So you can have an opportunity to build a true legacy that will live after you. So you can die empty, not living wealth. Wealth is not fun, but the life that you have affected through what God has given to you. You want to celebrate your birthday, the whole world will come and gather. They will raise money, give you gifts. But those gifts, you have built an empire with it, and you are proud. But when your member want to do a birthday in the church, you will not even create program. But when you want to do, it's a program. When you want to do, that is nonsense. God cannot give you a position. God cannot place you in a position for yourself. He placed you in a position for others. That is legacy. God did not give you a wife for yourself. He gave you a wife for you can affect the lives of your wife. That is legacy. God gave you children so you can affect them. He gave you wealth. People are waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. The miracles we need today are in the hands of these people who have faith to understand the true meaning of legacy. Now you see today, my father left a legacy behind because wealth. That is not legacy in the eyes of God. Your father left nothing. He left nothing. The car died, but his legacy, her legacy brought her back to life. That is true legacy. That is true one. That is divine. God intervened. Because if this person truly is gone, these widows, the poor, they will die. They will glorify God. God said, no. Your time has not come. I will give you extra years. And I will give you more wealth, more skills. Because you understood the meaning of true legacy. Why would God give you children? Why would God give you more picking? More children? Why? Why? The one He has given to you, you have not built legacy with it. You want more. No more than the come. The talent He has given to you is to affect lives, not you. God is not giving you money for you. He's giving you money for others. You are a channel. But use the money to build a legacy that will stand the test of time. Let us stand up. Masakayaba.